All right, English 9 person, buckle up, okay? Because we are going to be reading right now Romeo and Juliet. We're going to do Act 1, the prologue, which is the intro, and Scene 1, okay? That's all we're doing today, okay? Stay with me. Please give me your feedback and let me know if this was helpful, if you enjoyed this, or if it was terrible and I should never do it again and just let you read it on your own, okay? I'm going to read it to you today. Hopefully this will be helpful for you and for your learning. And if it's not, well, then who knows? Then I guess I just made a video and it didn't help, but I'll try. Okay. All right. So now you got to pretend you're with me here in the Globe Theatre. Okay. London, England. We are way back about 500 years ago. Okay. And we're going to go see the show. Black flags flying above the Globe Theatre. We know it's a tragedy. Here we go. Romeo and Juliet. All right. I'm sure you've heard a little bit about Romeo and Juliet in your life because it's such a big part of our culture even today. However, let's pretend you don't. The prologue is a great place to be introduced to the story. Remember, back then they didn't have commercials, they didn't have trailers, they didn't have ads. So in theater, prologues are often used to kind of let people know about what they're going to see and also to try to hook their attention, okay? So in the prologue, it says enter chorus, all right? So this would be a person or it could be a group of people depending on how they wanted to do it, kind of acting as a narrator, setting the scene, telling everyone about our setting, our basic characters, and a little bit about the plot to get them interested, okay? Anyway, here we go. Let's read it. I am your chorus. We are in London. You're at the Globe Theatre. You paid a penny to get in, and now you're ready to see the show. Okay, here we go. Two households, both alike in dignity, in fair Verona, where we lay our scene. From ancient grudge break to new mutiny, where civil blood makes civil hands unclean. From forth the fatal loins of these two foes, a pair of star-crossed lovers take their life, whose misadventured piteous overthrows doth with their death bury their parents' strife. The fearful passage of their death-marked love, and the continuance of their parents' rage, which but their children's end not could remove, is now the 2 hours' traffic of our stage. The which if you with patient ears attend, what here shall miss, our toil shall strive to mend. Okay, there you go. That's the prologue. That's the whole thing, the whole intro. Okay, now I'm going to break it down for you a little bit, and maybe this will be helpful. Maybe you understood it all, and that was great. Please notice also, too, that we do have the modern text. I'm trying to highlight just the right. I guess I can't do that. We do have the modern text on the right side, okay? So if you're reading this on your own, you could get a better understanding, okay? So what do we need to know? Our story is taking place in Verona, Italy. This is where we lay our scene. This is where we are. And in this story, we have two households, two families, okay? They are both alike in dignity. They are similarly powerful. They are similarly wealthy. And bad news, they have an ancient grudge, okay? In this story, I'm going to tell you a little bit about it as we go, but we never really find out what started the feud. But we do know that these two families hate each other. They've been fighting, they have an ancient grudge for a long time, and now there's a new problem, okay? There's a new issue going on here. And civil blood makes civil hands unclean. Okay, so there's fighting going on. Now things are going to get interesting, though. This is where we hook you. This is where you find out, I need to know more. From forth the fatal loins of these two foes. Okay, loins. Their offspring. These two enemies have kids. And they are a pair of star-crossed lovers. Okay. People get a lot of misconception about what it means to be star-crossed. Some people think it means like a great thing. Oh, we are star-crossed. In actuality, it is a bad thing. Basically, it means that they were doomed. Okay, people in this time period believed, and in fact, many people still do believe, that you could learn a lot about your destiny or your fate from the stars. Okay, people who like horoscopes can attest to this, and so if their stars are crossed, that's not good. And so basically, their destiny or their fate is that they're gonna fall in love, but have it not go well, and they're gonna take their life. Whoa, suicide, very serious stuff here. Okay. Their whose misadventure piteous overthrows doth with their death bury their parents' strife. So these two kids are going to fall in love. It's not going to go well. They're going to kill themselves, and that's what's going to end the feud. That's what's going to bury the strife or the fighting. Okay. Okay, so that's with their children's end, not could remove. Like I just said, their fighting's going to stop when their children die. And this story is going to be the 2 hours traffic of our stage. So this story would take about the same length as your average movie, 2 hours long. And in the next 2 hours, everything that you don't know, what you've missed, the holes in the story, you're going to find out if you stay tuned. Okay? So that is what is going on with the prologue. So right now, if you're in the audience, you know that you're going to get a story taking place in Verona, Italy, about two families that hate each other. Man, they have this crazy feud. It's ancient. It's been going on for years and years and years. They just hate each other. And now they're fighting again. But two of their kids are going to fall in love. But they're doomed to take their own life. That's the only thing that's going to stop the family from fighting. Are you hooked? I am. I got to find out what happens next. All right? So stay tuned. All right, English 9, we are ready to go with Act 1, Scene 1. As you can see, I have my text over here, and you can see it, although you can also go on your computer and look it up yourself. I posted the link, and we are in Act 1, Scene 1. As you can see, we have left the Globe Theater, and we are now in the streets of Verona, Italy, okay? And I don't want to read this by myself. Usually we're in the classroom and we're doing this together, okay? I have a lot of people reading for me. Now I have to do all the work? Are you kidding me? Oh, boy. Okay, well, I am going to do the work. I am going to read it to you, but I'm not going to be alone, okay? So I brought some friends along with me, and they're going to help act it out as we go, okay? So I will help be their voice, but they will help give you a visual portrayal, and we'll see how it goes. This could be terrible. I don't know. You'll have to let me know in the comments or message me, okay? All right. Anyway, here we go. Enter Samson and Gregory of the house of Capulet with swords and bucklers. Okay, so we have Samson and we have Gregory. Gregory, on my word, will not carry coals. No, for then we should be colliers. I mean, and we being choler will draw. Aye, while you live, draw your neck out of collar. I strike quickly, being moved. But thou art not quickly moved to strike. A dog of the house of Montague moves me. To move is to stir, and to be valiant is to stand. Therefore, if thou art moved, thou runnest away. A dog of the house shall move me to stand. I will take the wall of any man or maid of Montague's. Whoa. Okay, got it. Clicking to go to the next page. All right. Samson, Gregory, great performance. Keep it up. That shows thee a weak slave, for the weakest go to the wall. 'Tis true, and therefore women, being the weaker vessels, are ever thrust to the wall. Therefore I will push Montague's men from the wall, and thrust his maids to the wall. The quarrel's between our masters, and us their men. 'Tis all one. I will show myself a tyrant. When I have fought with the men, I will be civil with the maids. I will cut off their heads. The heads of the maids? Aye, the heads of the maids, or their maiden heads. Take it in what sense thou wilt. They must take it in sense that feel it. Me they shall feel, while I'm able to stand. and 'tis known I'm a pretty piece of flesh. 'Tis well thou art not fish. If thou hadst been poor John. Okay, so to kind of sum it up, we have two people, okay, and they are servants, okay, from the Capulet family. We talked about how there's two households in Verona, the Capulets and the Montagues. These are two of the Capulet servants, okay? And they're out here, they're talking. It's a hot, warm day, and they're just talking about how anxious they are to fight. If I see anyone from the Montague family, I will fight them. Oh, yeah, you're so tough. You'll definitely fight them. Okay. So we can see that this household feud affects not just the main family, not just the members of the actual family, but also their servants, their friends, and the like. So these servants, they really hate the Montagues because they work for the Capulets. Okay. But then here comes Abram. Okay, where's my Abram? Who did I have be him? Oh, yes, here he is. Abram. Okay. He's with his people, but we don't really need to see him. Draw thy tool. Here comes one of the house of Montagues. My naked weapon is out. Quarrel, I will back thee. How? Turn thy back and run? Fear me not. No, Mary, I fear thee. Let us take the law of our sides. Let them begin. I will frown as I pass by, and let them take it as they list. Nay, as they dare, I will bite my thumb at them, which is a disgrace to them, if they bear it. Okay, so now Abram is walking by. And as he does so, Samson and Gregory bite their thumb. Okay, you might think, who cares? That's such a weird thing to do. But it's kind of the equivalent of the old-timey, well, it's the old-timey equivalent of the modern-day middle finger. Okay, so he's walking by, and basically they flip him off by biting their thumb at him. So he's a little confused and like, what? What did you do? Do you bite your thumb at us, sir? I do bite my thumb. Do you bite your thumb at us, sir? Okay, then aside means they kind of whisper to each other so no one else can hear it. Is the law of our side if I say A? No. No, sir, I do not bite my thumb at you, sir, but I bite my thumb, sir. Do you quarrel, sir? Quarrel, sir? No, sir. Quarrel would be a word for fight. Like, you want to fight? You want to go? Are we doing this? But if you do, sir, I am for you. I serve as good a man as you. No, better. Well, sir. Okay, so they're all here. They're all about to fight. And then in comes Benvolio. All right, Benvolio is Romeo's cousin. Okay, so he is a Montague. Romeo is the Montagues. Juliet is the Capulets. So we have here a Montague. All right. And the one thing we need to know about Benvolio is he loves peace and he is happy to stop a fight. So Captain America, symbolic choice. Yeah. Perfect. Okay. Okay. So now Benvolio comes and Gregory says, say better. Here comes one of my kinsmen. Yes, better, sir. You lie. Draw if you be men. Gregory, remember thy washing blow. Okay, so now these guys are fighting with their swords. Ding, 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 ding. Okay, and now Benvolio comes and he says, part fools, put up your swords. You know not what you do. Okay, but then Juliet's cousin comes, Tybalt. Okay, and Tybalt loves to fight. He's very anxious to get into any kind of fight, especially with the Montagues. So Tybalt is a Capulet. We have the cousins. Romeo's cousin Benvolio says, stop fighting. Juliet's cousin Tybalt says, let's fight. What? Art thou drawn among these heartless hinds? Turn thee, Benvolio. Look upon thy death. I do but keep the peace. Put up thy sword, or manage it to part these men with me. What? Drawn and talk of peace? I hate the word, as I hate hell, all Montagues, and thee. Have at thee, coward! And they start fighting. And as they're fighting, about 3 or 4 more citizens come along, and they're ready to get into the fight too. The whole, as you can see, we're on the city streets, so everyone's coming along. Oh man, a fight broke out. Now suddenly everyone's fighting. The citizens say, clubs, bills, partisans, strike, beat them down. Down with the Capulets, down with the Montagues. Okay? So, huge fight breaks out in town, all right? It started with just the servants, but now everybody's getting involved, all right? In come the Capulets. That would be Mr. Capulet or Lord Capulet and Mrs. Capulet or Lady Capulet, okay? So, this is Juliet's parents. So, we have a couple of parents. These are the Capulets, all right? Capulet says, what noise is this? Give me my long sword, ho! A crutch, a crutch! Why call you for a sword? Okay, so they're looking to fight. Then Romeo's parents come too. The Montagues. We have Montague and Lady Montague. All right? Montague says, oh wait, first, sorry, Capulet has to say, my sword, I say. Old Montague has come and flourishes his blade in spite of me. Montague then says, thou villain Capulet, hold me not, let me go. Lady Montague says, thou shalt not stir 1 foot to seek a foe. All right. Huge battle has broken out on the streets. All right. Now you can imagine sword fights, punching, kicking, that kind of thing, not the ideal situation for the Verona streets, all right? Fortunately, the prince comes, and the prince is, as you can tell by his name, the royalty in charge of the town, okay? So he's going to come, and he is not going to be happy with all this fighting, especially since we know that they have been fighting recently in town. So here's our prince, Scrooge McDuck. All right. He's got this long speech. It's called a monologue. It's when someone talks for a long time. All right. And he's angry because of all the fighting. He says, rebellious subjects, enemies to peace, profaners of this neighbor-stained steel, will they not hear? What ho! You men, you beasts, that quench the fire of your pernicious rage, with purple fountains issuing from your veins, on pain of torture from those bloody hands, throw your mistempered weapons to the ground, and hear the sentence of your moved prince. So he told them, stop fighting, throw your weapons down, hear what I have to say. 3 civil brawls bred of an airy word, by thee, old Capulet, and thee, old Montague, have thrice disturbed the quiet of our streets, and made Verona's ancient citizens, cast by their grave beseeming ornaments, to wield old partisans in hand as old, cankered with peace, to part your cankered hate. If ever you disturb our streets again, your lives shall pay the forfeit of the peace. For this time, all the rest depart away. You, Capulet, shall go along with me, and Montague, come you this afternoon, to know our farther pleasure in this case, to old Freetown, our common judgment place. Once more, on pain of death, all men depart. Okay, so to sum that up, he basically says, I am sick of your fighting. 3 times lately, you've been fighting in the streets. I'm sick of it. I'm done with it. It's not a good look for the prince for you to do this. So, I'm telling you all, Capulet, Montague, your whole families, this feud needs to not happen in public. If you do it again, I will kill you. All right? So, okay, now we kind of see the setup of our story. In scene 1, we learn their families hate each other. There's a lot of fighting going on. This would have been good action. And if they fight again, he'll kill them. All right. So now we need to have our scene continue. We have Montague, Lady Montague. Remember, this is Romeo's family, and Benvolio, Romeo's cousin. Okay? Now they're going to be talking about what just happened. Montague says, "Who said this ancient quarrel knew a broach? Speak, nephew. Were you by when it began?" "Here were the servants of your adversary, and yours close fighting ere I did approach. I drew to part them, in the instant came the fiery Tybalt, with his sword prepared, which as he breathed defiance to my ears, he swung about his head and cut the winds. Who, nothing hurt withal, hissed him in scorn. While we were interchanging thrusts and blows, came more and fought on part and part, till the prince came who parted either part." So Benvolio gives the accurate lowdown. Yes, servants started fighting. I tried to break up the fight, but Tybalt kept it going. Then the huge brawl broke out. Okay, now Lady Montague asks, "Oh, where is Romeo? Saw you him today? Right glad I am he was not at this fray." "Madame, an hour before the worshipped sun peered forth the golden window of the east, a troubled mind drove me to walk abroad, where, underneath the grove of sycamore, that westward rooteth from this city side, so early walketh did I see your son. Toward him I made, but he was ware of me, and I stole into the covert of the wood. I, measuring his affections by my own, which then most sought where most might not be found, being one too many by my wary self, pursued my humor, not pursuing his, and gladly shunned who gladly fled from me. Many a morning hath he been there seen, with tears augmenting the fresh morning's dew, adding to clouds more clouds with his deep sighs. But all so soon as the all-cheering sun should in the farthest east begin to draw, the lady curtains from Aurora's bed, away from light steals home my heavy son. And private in his chamber pens himself, shuts up his windows, locks fair daylight out, and makes himself an artificial night. Black and portentous must this humor prove, unless good counsel may the cause remove." Okay, to sum that up, where's Romeo been? Why wasn't he at the fight? I don't know, but I saw him earlier today crying and hiding in the woods. Yeah, he's been crying a lot lately. I wonder what's wrong. Okay. I wonder what is wrong. Let's find out. "My noble uncle, do you know the cause?" "I neither know it nor can learn from him." "Have you importuned him by any means?" "Both by myself and many other friends. But he, his own affection's counselor, is to himself, I will not say how true, but to himself so secret and so close, so far from sounding and discovery, as is the bud bit with an envious worm. Ere he can spread his sweet leaves to the air, or dedicate his beauty to the same, could we but learn from whence his sorrows grow, we would as willingly give cure as know." Okay, now here comes Romeo. "Mickey." Okay, so this is our Romeo. "See where he comes, so please you, step aside, I'll know his grievance or be much denied. I would thou wert happy by thy stay, to hear true shrift. Come, madame, that's away." Exit Montague and Lady Montague. Okay, so now these cousins are going to chat, and Benvolio is going to try to figure out what's going on with Romeo. Okay, it makes sense. Cousins would probably talk to each other. If you had something wrong, you might not want to tell your parents, but maybe you'd tell your buddy, your cousin. "Good morrow, cousin. Is the day so young? But new struck 9. Ay me, sad hours seem long. Was that my father that went hence so fast?" "It was. What sadness lengthens Romeo's hours? Not having that which, having, makes them short. In love? Out. Of love? Out of her favor where I am in love." Ding, 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 ding. We now know why Romeo's been so sad, why he's been crying in the mornings and at night and been keeping to himself. Romeo is not having a good love life. He's in love with someone who doesn't love him back. He is out of her favor where he is in love. Alas, that love so gentle in his view should be so tyrannous and rough in proof. Alas, that love whose view is muffled still should without eyes see pathways to his will. Where shall we dine? Oh me, what fray was here? You tell me not, for I've heard it all. Here's much to do with hate, but more with love. Why then, O brawling love, O loving hate, O anything of nothing first created, O heavy lightness, serious vanity, misshapen chaos of well-seeming forms, feather of lead, bright smoke, cold fire, sick health, still waking sleep, that is not what it is. This love feel that I, that feel no love in this. Dost thou not laugh? It's kind of laughing a little bit. No, cuz I rather weep. Good heart at what? At thy heart, good heart's oppression. Why? Such in love's transgression, griefs of mine own lie heavy in my breast, which thou wilt propagate it to have it pressed. With more of thine, this love that thou hast shown, doth add more grief to too much of mine own. Love is a smoke raised with fume of sighs, being purged, a fire sparkling in lovers' eyes. Being vexed, a sea nourished with loving tears. What is it else? A madness most discreet, a choking gal, and a preserving sweet. Farewell, my cuz. Okay, so we know that Romeo loves someone who doesn't love him back. We don't know who it is yet, but I'm going to give you a little bit of a spoiler, I guess. It is not Juliet. You might have thought it was, but it isn't. In fact, Romeo and Juliet have not even met yet. Okay? Now, if you're thinking to yourself, Benvolio is his cousin and his buddy. You can kind of put yourself in his shoes. What would you do if your friend, your cousin, was all upset about someone he had a crush on or felt in love with? Okay? You might want to cheer them up. How do you do that? There are a lot of different ways. Let's find out what Benvolio wants to do. Soft, I will go along, and if you leave me so, you do me wrong. Tut, I have lost myself. I am not here. This is not Romeo. He's some other where. Tell me in sadness, who is that you love? What, shall I groan and tell thee? Groan, why no. But sadly, tell me who. A sick man in sadness makes his will. A word ill urged to one that is so ill. In sadness, cousin, I do love a woman. I aimed so near when I supposed you loved. A right good marksman, and she's fair I love. A right fair mark, fair cuz, is soonest hit. Well, in that hit you miss. She'll not be hit with Cupid's arrow. She hath Dian's wit, and in strong proof of chastity well armed, from love's weak childish bows, she lives uncharmed. She will not stay the siege of loving terms, nor bide the encounter of assailing eyes, nor ope her lap to saint seducing gold. Oh, she is rich in beauty, only poor, that when she dies, with beauty dies her store. Okay? So now we found out why this girl doesn't like Romeo back. Now, you might not have picked up on it from the old text, but if we read the modern text or we think about the words and we read closely, we'll get why. It says, she will not be hit with Cupid's arrow. So she won't fall in love. She hath Dian's wit. Diana was the goddess of chastity. Okay, chastity. Basically, what's happening is he has fallen in love with someone who won't fall in love and will never have any. Basically, she's going to remain a virgin. She's going to remain chaste. Essentially, she's going to become a nun. So Romeo's upset that the girl he likes is going to be a nun, won't have anything to do with him, and now he's kind of dealing with that. So Benvolio says, then she hath sworn that she will live chaste. She hath, and in that sparing makes huge waste. For beauty, starved with her severity, cuts beauty off from all posterity. She is too fair, too wise, wisely too fair, to merit bliss by making me despair. She hath forsworn in love to love, and in that vow do I live dead, that I live to tell it now. Be ruled by me, forget to think of her. Oh, teach me how I should forget to think. By giving liberty unto thine eyes, examine other beauties. Not bad. Good advice, Benvolio. People, if you ever end up heartbroken, Obviously, I don't wish that upon you. It's bad. You don't want to have your heart broken. But in life, that happens sometimes. Okay. And sometimes when you get dumped or someone doesn't like you back, in Romeo's case, someone just is not interested at all in a relationship, a good way to get over that, like Benvolio says, is to try to find a new relationship, try to find a new girl. So he says, give liberty to the eyes. Don't just focus and dwell on someone you have no chance with. Try to look around and find other beauties, okay? Try to find other girls. But that's easier said than done. When you love someone and they're breaking your heart, so Romeo doesn't really think it's going to work. He says, "'Tis the way to call her exquisite, and question more. These happy masks that kiss fair ladies' brows, being black, puts us in mind they hide the fair. He that is stricken blind cannot forget the precious treasure of his eyesight lost. Show me a mistress that is passing fair. What doth her beauty serve as a note, where I may read who passed that passing fair? Farewell, thou canst teach me to forget. I'll pay that doctrine or else die in debt." Okay, so Romeo says, I'm never gonna find anyone as awesome as this girl. It won't work. Benvolio says, dude, bro, I'm gonna be your wingman. I will pay that debt. I will find you another girl, or I'll die trying. I'll die in debt. I'll do everything I can to make that happen. Okay? All right, and that's the end of scene 1. We have established a lot in this first scene. We know that the Montagues and the Capulets, they hate each other. Big feud. We saw their servants even fight. And when they got into fight, everyone got involved. Benvolio, Tybalt, Lord and Lady Montague, Lord and Lady Capulet. Fight broke out. So then the prince had to come in and lay down the law. And he said, I'm sick of this fighting. If your families are fighting in the streets again, you will be killed. If you fight in public, you'll be executed. Okay? So we know that's going on. And now we also know that Romeo is depressed and he is heartbroken because he loves someone who won't love him back, someone who's chosen to become a nun and be a virgin for their life. So Benvolio is going to try to be his wingman and find him a new girl. Okay? In your brain, you can kind of see where the story's going. Romeo and Juliet. Find a new girl? I wonder who that could be. Okay. All right. So if you have any questions about scene 1 of Act 1, let me know. Hopefully I did okay reading it. Hopefully the characters provided some sort of entertainment. Trying to not have it just be me reading, which would be boring, or it could be boring. Of course I'm not boring, but you know what I mean. All right. So anyway, have a great day. I'll talk to you later, and we'll keep reading this tomorrow. Thanks a lot. Have a good day. Bye, everyone.